Hey everyone, Garrett here from the Angry Chicken, and I have a Mr. BigglesWORTH Battlegrounds game for you today. Now there's a couple reasons I want to share this game with you, one of them being I actually remembered to hit record on a Battlegrounds game. I did some commentary a while back. I had a lot of fun making that video and I got some nice feedback on it. But I really want to share this game with you today because A, I was so salty during this game. Things did not go the way I was hoping that they would. And that's entertaining in its own right, but B, because this game really changed my opinion on Mr. BigglesWORTH. And so we're gonna go hang out with the kitty right now, and I'm gonna explain to you over the course of this Battlegrounds game why my mind was changed. Let's get into it. All right, the kitty, him or herself, I don't know with BigglesWORTH. Anyway, Mr. BigglesWORTH, as I mentioned, this is actually my second game with BigglesWORTH, and we haven't recorded an Angry Chicken since BigglesWORTH has been announced / added to the game. We always record on Wednesdays, and at the time of recording this, BigglesWORTH and this minor Battlegrounds patch happened actually Thursday of last week, so the day after we recorded, because of course, not that it mattered, we had so many freaking constructed cards to talk about. It was good for about a 2.5 hour episode of the Angry Chicken. But had we done an episode of the Angry Chicken before I had gotten a chance to play Mr. BigglesWORTH, I would have said that I don't think Mr. BigglesWORTH is a particularly good hero. I'm also not here to say that I think Mr. BigglesWORTH is top tier, but I do, after this game, think Mr. BigglesWORTH is actually a little bit better than I gave them credit for. I don't love heroes in Battlegrounds that don't have kind of an average value proposition over the course of an entire game, of an entire lobby. Crag is probably my biggest exception. I do really like Captain Crag, but is it Sky Captain Crag? I don't remember. Anyway, I do like Crag because I really like cheating up to tier 5 faster than I should be able to go. But like Crag and like other heroes that hero power really only gives you value in the late game, with BigglesWORTH, you need to draft safely. And as I mentioned before, this is my second game with BigglesWORTH. My first game wasn't all that interesting. It was a pretty but it was a good example of I think how you should play BigglesWORTH, which is I ended up drafting a Big Demons / Juggler comp, which is just that or mechs are a really reliable way to safely draft to make it through the mid game. They're not fantastic compositions to actually win a lobby with, though. But with BigglesWORTH, because you're going to be discovering minions from opponents that die, it doesn't really matter, because that's when you're going to start power spiking because of the nature of your hero power. You can go demons, you can go mechs, you can go these safer bets that kind of don't have a good top out, because you're gonna get value much later on as players start dropping out. But this game, obviously, I didn't have a Wrathweaver offered to me early, so I'm at least not at the moment looking at big demons. It could still happen. You know, I'm taking a lot of damage here because AFK on turn 3. What are you gonna do? But I was still open to the idea of shifting into a big demons composition. But it looks like right now I'm gonna have to grin and bear it and go a Death Rattle build. Here's my first bit of salt right here, and a major misplay. I should have just bought 2 minions and been more efficient with my gold right there, I think. But with it, I 100% was texting on this turn. I was paying attention to my phone, not to the game. Looked up, saw less than thrilling options on turn 4, was a little salty, and without thinking was like, let's see what's next. Probably should have just efficiently bought 2 minions, even if they weren't all that exciting. So instead I end up cycling some Death Rattle minions there. Not a play I'm particularly proud of, nor one that I would recommend you try yourself. But hey, this is what happens sometimes. You don't always pay attention when you're playing a game like Battlegrounds, but you should if you're trying to climb. So here's where things begin to go south. I had a very inefficient turn 4, as you saw, and so I am down minions on board. On top of having never found a token. But again, without Murlocs in the lobby, you can't really count on that because the options of tier 1 token minions are literally cut in half. Here's a nice bit of luck, though. We roll right into, on turn 5, a triple on our Harvest Column. So even though I am very aware of the fact that I am behind right now, I'm already on 25 health on turn 5 and down on minions on board. I decided, screw it, I found the triple. I should probably just level up to Tavern Tier 3 and freeze the 3rd Harvest Golem to pick up next turn so that I can, of course, discover into a Tier 4 minion. I'm also not that hot on Soreless comps anymore. Ever since Soreless was nerfed and moved up to Tier 2, which I agree with. Soreless at Tier 1 was just too damn good. Especially back with old Hook Tusk. I'd almost like to try it again, Santan's Hook Tusk, but it's not like Hook Tusk was in every lobby anyway. But this is part of what was causing my salt here. It was a little bit my own misplays, but it was also the offerings from Bob. I wasn't stoked on what he was offering me. But I rolled into this one. I thought to myself, oh, this isn't so bad. This is okay. At least I'm starting to catch up a little bit. But I was still concerned about my lack of minions on board, and I was starting to get concerned about the fact that I was BigglesWORTH and I wasn't going to get any hero power value until later in the game. So, gonna see what 4-drop we get to discover here, and it's actually some pretty decent options. Obviously, a Noyo module. Not the best. I could put it on my Harvest Golem, but I decide I would rather Mechano Egg. And I'm going to roll to see if I can find anything to give us a Mechano Egg, some attack. And I do end up finding it with the Microbots, which normally I do not like putting on my Robo Egg. But I've lost a lot of rounds already, and we're only on turn 6, so I was pretty desperate here. As much as I wanted to just get more minions on board to give myself any chance in hell of attacking first this game, I decide that, you know, an 8/8 coming online on my board earlier in the attack lineup, like guaranteed, and not just hoping that the Fiendish Servant luckily buffs my egg, is probably the best bet for me right now. Plus, Microbots, you still get a Death Rattle buff if you're running Sorelisk, even though it used the magnetic, you still end up getting the buff. So I decided, what the hell. Why not? And so we can see in the statistics up top using the good old Hearthstone deck tracker that I'm starting to bridge the gap despite a really lousy start to the game and some pretty lousy decision making on my part. I was feeling rather hopeful about this turn since I had 2 minions that could just one-hit kill that rover, but alas, it was not in the cards. The attacks did not happen in the correct order. But considering the course of the game through these first 6 turns, I took only taking 4 damage as a complete and total victory. And so this is where I'm looking at 17 health on turn 7, and I decide, nope, I'm not leveling. I just need to power up my board. As much as I would love to keep up with the lobby and tavern up to tier 4 on turn 7, I'm not going to. I just need stats. I just need bodies. I just need to get 7 units on board. I'm not too sure what I was thinking with the freeze here. I think I was debating getting the scrap bot for the egg or possibly the harvester. I'm never one to get married to harvest golems, so most likely was thinking about that for the egg, but I decided just to roll one more time. I remember this because I was considering freezing for the pair on the Sorelisk, but again, I am behind. I'm at 17 health on turn 7. The free roll from going to turn 7 to turn 8 is worth way more than picking up a pair on a Sorelisk or a Ralph if you're a Slissa fan. So let's see how we fare against AFK in this rematch. I was not looking forward to it, seeing as AFK creamy on turn 3, but that's what AFKs do. And it looks like, yay, I have bridged the gap. 100% chance to win this little matchup here. And this is really just a beautiful example of breakpoints happening here. There's just all these 2 attack minions, and they're just not enough to kill the health that I had managed to accrue across my minions. So we just got a lot of value trades here, and mercifully didn't take damage for a turn. And so I was really hoping that turn 8 would be the turn where someone would die and I would get to discover a minion. But alas, Daryl and Rat King, bringing up the 7th and 8th places below me, barely moved their life total in the into turn 8. And so I'm still just having to make do with what Bob is offering me. And I wanted the tavern up, but I saw I was going against the 2nd place player of Patches, and just thought, I'm still not feeling safe. I'm at health 17, and if I want a chance of doing well in this lobby, I need to live long enough to have multiple players die so that I can steal their stuff. So once again, I don't think I have stayed on tier 3 past turn 8 in many a game, but I decided to here. I also believe I do decide to freeze for the Bronze Warden here, because I believe I was considering swapping it out for the Houndmaster. It's just a little more guaranteed value than the Houndmaster, thanks to that Divine Shield, in my opinion. It's not guaranteed. There are, of course, juggles and things that can go awry and rob you of Bronze Warden value, but I would definitely prefer Bronze Warden over a Houndmaster. Go ahead and pick up a 2nd Demon just for my trouble with this Juggler comp. Again, like I mentioned, this is a hero that you really need to draft safely with, and I think a Juggler comp is a very safe comp and can absolutely be that safety net that you need to get to the late game and start getting value out of BigglesWORTH's hero power. Struggle for words there. And all I want to happen here is I just don't want my Juggler to get sniped. There it is. I knew it got sniped. I couldn't remember how, though. I thought it was a cannon. And this is just kind of my atypical experience with cannon comps. And I started getting salty there. And I started getting salty now, even though I've already played through this and know how it ended up. I could have sworn I was about to lose that. It seemed like it was just going to be maximum cannon value. Ended up eking it out there. It's just Mechano Egg is such a great way to stabilize. But here we see one of the reasons I thought BigglesWORTH was not a great hero, which were Rat King died, and I was offered 3 basic, non-golden, non-buffed minions. Ended up just grabbing a Hangry Dragon, and the salt just immediately returned. It went away because I'm like, yay, I actually went around, and it's back because, oh yeah, I finally get to use my hero power, and the options are garbage. Just absolute trash tier options. I believe I just threw the Hangry Dragon back here because I don't believe I'm going to start snowballing at this point in the game. I'm still not feeling particularly great in the overall stats on my board, and so I just really want to deploy the Bronze Warden here, shore up my board a little bit, and decide, well, instead of rolling, I'm just going to take the pair on the Soralisk, since apparently it's going to stick around. And then do some demon trading to add just a little bit more stats. And also one more guaranteed token spawn off of that Imp Prisoner to get a little more Juggler value. I was really trying to make the Juggler work for me here. And wow, frankly, I did not remember that I stayed on tier 3 for this long. We're on tier 9, and I still have decided not to level up. Because I'm just afraid of instantly dying. Deck Tracker here says I had a 14% chance to just eat it right here and now, which makes sense with 2 Void Collars and a Mama Bear on board, as well as their Juggler sniping my Juggler, and me getting a little salty with the emotes there. You ever look back on your own behavior in games and go, why are you the way you are, me? So we're just gonna sprinkle a little salt here, and pray to the gaming gods that we can snipe this Mama Bear and not take more damage than we need to. But it's not going to happen, as those are some seriously swole rats. They went to the gym and they are flexing on me. So we're going to go down to 3 health. And at this point, I'm like, oh, yay, AFK died. And then I immediately go back into, oh, no golden offerings at all. At least there's buffs, but there's no golden offerings. And once again, I'm thinking to myself, man, BigglesWORTH is just crap. I maybe didn't want to flip the table right now, but I definitely wanted to at least flip my keyboard with no golden offerings from AFK. If she had a golden, I don't remember. It's irrelevant. You only discover from 3, even unless their entire board is golden, or I guess if there's less than 3 golden minions left on their board, you're not guaranteed you're going to find a golden. I do luck out incredibly here, though, and decide I reject your reality. I will make my own golden. But I'm not thrilled with the options here. Decided to grab the Menagerie Jug. Menagerie Mug and Jug, by the way. Love these new additions. The old Menagerie minions were not great. And these are some fantastic additions. And I also am able to freeze up 2 more Bronze Wardens for my trouble. So I'm going to get another triple next turn. And providing I survive this next turn against Daryl, I'm in full panic mode at this point. I'm certain that at any moment I'm going to die because I am sitting on 3 health. So I'm just really hoping I'm able to eke it out here. I am feeling a little bit better about my state because I do now have 2 golden minions pumping up that already pumped up Gold Grubber. And the deck tracker confirms it. I have really bridged the gap here. There are, of course, chances for me to lose and chances for me to die. But as long as this juggler doesn't get too much value, we're going to be able to see another turn. I do remember taking a big old gulp when that Direhorn got an overkill off. We were able to dodge a single juggle, which is great, and we didn't trigger another overkill. So here it is. Apparently, the answer to my question of when the hell am I going to stabilize is at 3 health. At 3 health. We still don't kill the Daryl, though. Still don't kill the Daryl. Not that I was like dying for anything on his board, but I need something at this point. And so we hit another turn where no one in the lobby dies. So we're not going to get hero power value, but it doesn't matter because I did find another triple. And so I'm feeling a little better. I'm still sweating it. It's not like we completely owned Daryl. It was relatively close. But now things are looking up. I can taunt up my egg, which anyone rocking a Mechano egg wants to do. And now I'm thinking, well, I've got a Bran. What do I throw back to get that Menagerie Jug? And I think I also considered the Harvest Column, but I was like, no, I got a Gold Grubber. I want as many gold minions on as possible. And just look at the stats that are starting to pile up now. Of course, it's doubled by the Bran, but I really got a hat tip Team 5, as much as I have been criticizing the fact that nothing's been done about Murlocs. These 2 Menagerie minions have really just made me happy. They've brought a lot of interest back for me to Battlegrounds, and just it's opened up additional paths for drafting. It has really like given at least a glimmer of hope to Menagerie drafting, which was just rough, especially once they started rotating the minion pools, which I love. I think is probably the single best update to Battlegrounds is the fact that there are certain minion types that are left out of each lobby. However, it caused issues with the Menagerie minions that were existing. So getting to this round, we do lose the Menagerie Jug to the cleave, but I didn't really care. I got some big taunt minions now, so I kind of just wanted to make sure that they started attacking a little sooner in the lineup than a 3-attack Jug or a 2-attack Bran. And, well, we're going to kill our own player and discover the next round. And as a matter of fact, here it is. Here is BigglesWORTH going off. 3 players die in the same turn. And so we pick up a golden spawning this off. I believe I pair up on the Gold Grubber here, since I didn't find another golden. And then this is another one, not that great. just not that great, but it is value. These are, at the end of the day, I look at something like this, I'm not very excited. You may have very strong opinions about Peggle. I do as well. But still not that exciting. It is a free card. You have to survive long enough to get it. But I just got 3 free minions. I just got more than 9 gold because the Spawn of the Zoth is a triple. So it's a lot of econ value from BigglesWORTH if you can just survive to the late game, which frankly is when cheating the economy is worth the most. Well, I don't know how true that is, but I certainly like having free gold in the late game. And if I recall correctly, I think I start panicking here. Because I realize I'm out of time and I still have a lot of gold left. I don't have an excuse for this one. I'm not sure I was texting. Something happened that obviously took my... Oh, I didn't even realize this happened. So this is a bug right now. There are turns where BigglesWORTH hero power causes the rope to last longer than it's supposed to. And I didn't know what was going on at the time. I promise this is not me abusing it. But I went and looked it up after the fact, and yeah, this is a known bug. I am sitting on rope here way longer than I should be allowed to. And frankly, it's even though I am getting in a lot more moves than I should have been able to, it's terrifying because I didn't know when it was going to end. The fuse, the rope, means nothing. But clearly it worked in my favor there. But I remember at the moment being like, well, what is happening? I guess I'm going to try and make some moves. Okay, it's letting me make some moves. But yeah, quite the bug that I would imagine is going to be fixed in short time. So we're going to take out patches and we're going to move to the finals in a lobby I was fairly certain I was doomed in. I thought this was going to end up being a great example of why BigglesWORTH isn't that great of a hero, and instead it ended up being an example of why BigglesWORTH maybe isn't so bad. I did get pretty lucky with my own triples here, though. I would like to point out. The Soralisk was a triple I found myself, the Bronze Warden was a triple I found myself, the Harvest Golem was a triple I found myself, and now so is the Gold Grubber was through discovering. And so is the Yohogre, obviously. But 3 of these triples I assembled myself through no help of my hero power. And at this point, I'm kind of like, whoa, wait, I didn't expect to still be alive. What is my end game? And then it's like, well, yeah, it's Menagerie. And then I curse myself because I should have found a way to get that Divine Shield onto my Amalgadon in case it didn't find its own Divine Shield. Here I am going, is it worth the extra buff on the Gold Grubber? I don't think it is. And if I remember correctly, okay, I mean, I had so many different minion types, it was a pretty damn good chance, especially with the brand, that I was going to get a Divine Shield. But I do remember being a little upset with myself that I didn't find a way to put the Anoiltron on the Amalgadon and guarantee a Divine Shield on it. But yeah, I was kind of just sitting there in disbelief at this moment. I wasn't streaming this as a game. I was just playing by myself during some downtime on a work day. Just chatting with my wife on text message going, how am I still in this game? And how did I get this board? And that can just happen with BigglesWORTH. Again, I'd like to point out that the Soralisk was very much my own doing. Which is enough stats to make note of. However, things like the Amalgadon, the Gold Grubber, this late game stabilization was because of BigglesWORTH's hero power. I was really thinking was supremely average. I think BigglesWORTH lines pretty much right up with where the kitty is falling in statistics. So there you have it, my first place with Mr. BigglesWORTH through some luck, despite some poor early game options in draft, despite some misplays by myself. Still managed to eke it out. I hope you enjoyed this. For more Angry Chicken, more Hearthstone coverage, make sure you like and subscribe this channel, and I will see you Wednesday for a brand new episode of the Angry Chicken podcast, which I would really appreciate if you went and subscribed to. Good luck and have fun, everyone. Job's done.